So you just hit level 80 and you're not exactly sure how to get better gear, because in War Within we have so many options to gear up, and maybe you're torn between questing and farming heroics and maybe farming rares. Well, this video is going to give you guys several different options of things you can do at level 80 to upgrade your gear before Mythic season starts here on the 10th of September. So the very first thing you should do once you hit 80, if you haven't already, is go to the auction house. It doesn't matter which city you do it in, but the first thing you should do is definitely buy yourself some level 80 greens. Now you can find these for relatively cheap just because a lot of the people playing crafting are just pumping these out to the auction house. Not to mention, people are finding a ton of these BOE greens off mobs and things like that, so you can snag an entire set for relatively cheap. I mean, under 10,000 gold, sometimes even less. Also, do not forget to grab the miscellaneous stuff, so like, you know, neck, rings, trinkets, back, even weapons if you can. The sooner you can kind of put yourself at 564 or even 561, you can start farming heroics right away, and that's going to be the quickest way to farm Valor Stones and Crests, which is going to be the fastest way to upgrade gear. However, it's not going to be the only way, but we'll cover that in a second. The next, of course, is farming heroics. Now, if you're a DPS, well, I feel your pain. You're going to be waiting anywhere between 5 to 10 minutes for a dungeon queue to pop up, sometimes less depending on the hours that you play, but that's why I recommend playing either tank or healer or grabbing a friend who can, because at that point you pretty much just get instant queues and it's a lot easier to farm up those Valor Stones and Crests. However, the main reason to farm heroic dungeons isn't just to get Valor Stones and Crests, it's so that way you can replace all of your green gear with 571 blue gear. As you can see here on my Demon Hunter, the majority of his gear is upgraded to 571, although I'm really dragging my feet with doing more heroics. And one thing I want to talk about before we move on to the next section is people are asking, should they be spending their Valor Stones and Crest right now to upgrade all their 571 gear? That's really up to you, because once Season 1 starts, you'll be able to do level 8 delves, which again, I'll get to later in the video. You'll be able to do a myriad of other things that'll get you higher end gear quickly and easier. But for now, if you just want to gear up and quest, it's not a big deal if you want to spend those Valor Stones and really pump your gear as high as it can. It'll just mean that you are more prepared and well off for the raid that comes out, Mythic 0, etc. So, in my opinion, spend those Valor Stones now, get your gear as upgraded as possible. This way, when the season starts, you're just going to be blowing through stuff and you're going to be one of the most prepared. Now, to ensure that you're not just grinding your brain cells away on constant heroics, you should really be doing as many side quests as you can, finding treasures, killing rares, world quests. This would be a great opportunity to go back through each zone and finish up all the side stories. A lot of us didn't actually do every quest in every zone, so with a little bit better gear, it makes questing a little bit smoother, but this would be a great opportunity to also earn rep, and not to mention sometimes they can drop some pretty decent blue 571s. Which brings us to the next portion, and this is making sure that you are doing all your weekly gear sources. This is very important. You can get these from doing the weekly quests like the Theater Troupe, which is in the Isle of Dorn, Awakening the Machine in the Ringing Deeps, and Spreading the Light, which is in Hollowfall. And they all drop 571 gear in addition to the 2 special assignments you can find as well. Now, additionally, you can also do the Eyes of the Weaver in Ash-Kahet, which instead of giving you gear, it will actually give you access to a special assignment quest, which does reward the gear. Now, another easy way to gain 584 pieces is to get the correct reputation. You want to be level 7 for each faction, and each quartermaster will have an epic of 584 eye level that you can grab. I think they all vary in terms of the resonance crystals. Some are more expensive than others, but like this one, you can get for around 2,600. And while it might not be a complete upgrade for every slot you have, I mean, 4, 5, 84 pieces will definitely help get you there. That pretty much summarizes all the things you should be doing at level 80 to be farming and working your way up to a higher eye level. But let's talk about some things you should be saving up. And that, folks, is your Coffer Keys. Now, I know it might be tempting to go ahead and use one of these at the end of one of your bountiful delves you might run into, but I strongly suggest you hang on to those until the season starts, because the max we can do right now is only tier 3. And once the season starts, tier 8 will be available to get up to, which is going to give you a much higher item level. Another thing that I highly recommend you wait until the season starts is replacing any of your gear with crafted gear. And that's because right now, not only are the reagents very expensive, or at least can get expensive, but the eye level upgrade is so minimal, and it just makes sense to save your sparks and all of your stuff until the season starts, so you can get much more oomph out of your gold. And that's going to sum up pretty much everything you need to be doing right now until season 1 starts. I don't want to create a video and just hit you guys with a ton of useless information to stretch out the time of the video. So until next time, I'll see you guys later.